Hey yo, welcome to the video. Good evening to all the great good men and gals out there. I had a lot of fun making this video. I hope you have a lot of fun watching it. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. I appreciate you, and I hope you're having a blessed day. Enjoy the video, man. Thank you. Um, Damn, dude. I don't know. So there's like that's a complex question. There's a lot, dude. Oh man. Can I not go through here, dude? Please. Got it, mana potion. Why can't I go through? Thank you. There's a lot of that's just a big question, man. You can't fucking go asking people that internet. So alright. This does have layers to it. So what I would say first is that but it did say craziest. So I want to have a family, man. That's kind of my best. I'm kind of like a Jordan Peterson motherfucker whenever it comes to talking about that stuff. So I would like to have the responsibility of having a family, to be able to go and just like, dude, I just want a fucking recliner and like a couch, and then I want to be able to come home and like, you know, have like a son and shit, like have a wife. That's what I would like out of life. But you know, you can't really, like, video games can't really give that to you so much, and that's kind of like my favorite. It's my favorite thing. I like playing this same game over and over again. And that's what I would do. But is it that crazy? No. I had aspirations for a while to want to become a comedian. But it didn't quite turn out that way, man. It just doesn't. I mean, I still got, well, whatever. That's just kind of like a shit way of saying it, because I still got time. You know, everybody, it's never too late to do anything. And I guess that comedian, that's what that was like the biggest thing that I wanted to do. But I never. So like the thing is that, personally, what I thought was like, okay, if I'm gonna go out there and do that, I need experience, like, or else I'm just talking out my ass. So that's what I tried to do. I tried to go out there and just like get some experience. I needed to live life. You can't just be like a 17-year-old kid in my eyes, and like, you can't just be like a 17-year-old kid and go out there and talk like you know shit, man. So that's why, you know, I like put it off, and then I didn't go back to do it. I might. That's the thing, is that I might go out there and I might give it a shot, but you know, dreams sometimes have to be on hold. But like, that's just where they sometimes die, dude. It just happens. Is it life decisions influenced what goals you have? Of course you have. I don't know like a person on this planet Earth who hasn't, like, dude, you gotta be lying if your parents haven't influenced your goals. So back in I want to say sophomore year of high school, that was just a good time. It was a really fucking good time. So I used to have a crush on this girl. She was dude, but she was like everybody liked this chick. But I used to have a crush on her. But like, so I started working at a McDonald's in the summertime, and she also worked at that McDonald's. And so I went to go work with her, and then she was like always like, I tried to get up and close with her, like talking with her, and she was like great at this job, and she loved talking with people. She's just an outgoing person. She was a bitch, but she was an outgoing person. So she would talk to me and all about all this stuff, and she was like, hey, you should really go out. You should do track. You should do track and field. You should do cross country. And I didn't do cross country, but I did track that year. So track season started up, and so I went to track and field, and it was really fun. And but then, like, I tried dating, dude. I tried so hard to date this chick during track and field, and I was having a great time. But I mean, I was trying to be outgoing just because, you know, I wanted to fucking impress this girl, but I was still pretty chubby at the time. And dude, it was not going. Oh man, it was not going well, man, for me. So then, like, she turned me down whenever I asked to go out with her, and then just So I was so put down. I was just like, oh fuck, I can't really. I just can't. I can't do anything now. Like fuck, I lost. So then I wanted to quit track and field. So then my dad came up to me and he talked with me, man. He said, listen, like you're like it wasn't her that made you join. It was you. Okay, you know that, right? And I was like, yeah, Dad, I know, but it just now I gotta see her every day. And he was like, nope, nope, shut the fuck up. Was it you or was it her? And I was like, it was me. It was me that did that. And then he said, okay, then it's you that's gonna finish it. And I was like, fuck, Dad. And he's like, yeah, this is what it is. Like every day, it's gonna be you. And so then I went back, and then I think I stopped track for 3 days, and then my dad gave me that talk, and I just went back that next week, and they were like, hey, Wally, what's going on? And I was like, hey, man, I'm here. And so yeah, man, that's what it was. And it was such a great season. Oh my gosh, I love the fact that I went back and I did it, because that's the thing that really changed my goals, man. It really changed my life from that point, man. Like, I mean, that was maybe like 6 years ago, but it really. So the thing about joining a sport in high school is that it doesn't just like teach you to like be with friends. If anybody's like they don't like going around with people, they're very introverted. Joining a sport or band, fucking anything, it changes your perspective. And people who are very they're very cynical about life. They're gonna be like, oh, you just want to hang around with a bunch of dumbasses in high school. Like, yeah, like fuck you. Like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it teaches you not just that. It feels so good to be around people. It lowers the perspective of yourself, because then you start to think, oh shit, I'm actually not as hot as I thought I was. Like, there's actually people around me who actually have personalities, and they have thoughts of their own, and they have goals of their own, and they go out there and they do these things, and that's what changes you. So it was like this trickle down effect of what my dad had said to me. So then you go out, you start exercising, you start changing your mindset, and then it changes your entire perspective of life. And if my dad hadn't said that to me, and he hadn't gotten me to go back and do it, then I would not have been in the same spot. And I wouldn't have been to where I was today. I'm doing pretty fucking good, because I actually take I do these things, and you go out and you fucking exercise, and you take appreciation of what you have around you, and it like changes your brain chemistry, and yeah, man, exercise. And I actually haven't exercised in a fucking hot minute, bro. I haven't had a consistent exercise plan, but it definitely changed my life. I cannot agree more that my father changed the goals that I have. Yeah, he did change my goals, because it changed me from saying, oh well, I'm just gonna be this fat slob the rest of my life, to, okay, well, now I have to sort of eat healthier, and going outside is going to change my life. So it actually, yeah, it does. He did have a really good influence on my life. So, okay, if you're not working right now, in, I don't know, maybe like let's say like a high school student, somebody who hasn't started working, like just anybody who hasn't started working and who's just been kind of coasting a little bit, not really doing a lot of things, then you still understand what it's like to work with people. You just don't really realize it. Whenever you're in school and you're working with people to get projects done, it's very similar as to working with people in the workforce. You get a leader, you pick somebody who's going to lead the group, and then usually that person is going to be doing 1% of the work, or 99% of the work, while everybody else kind of like grudges off and doesn't do it. And that kind of happens a lot. Whenever you're in the workforce, there's usually one person who's doing a lot of shit while somebody is not doing that. You find a lot of that. So whenever you now you have to introduce that to how you interact with the group. Okay, so there's going to be people whenever you're talking to them, but you can't just like say, hey, do more work, stop being such a dumbass, because there's going to be that, like, they are doing 1% of the work, but that 1% is like really important. So you can't just be a dick to them. You have to like say, hey man, could you maybe do this one thing like this? And so you have to sort of sell it to them to be able to do work. And so it turns into you having to be able to interact with people to basically get shit done so you don't get fucked over. And that's kind of what the entirety of your working experience is going to be like from a 21-year-old's perspective. If I had way more experience in the workforce and I had more leadership positions, then you'd be definitely hearing a different story. Currently though, it is not that. I'm usually just dealing with the experience of these fuckers are not doing work, and I find myself doing a lot of work. It's very egotistical, but if you're not working, you're gonna find yourself in a lot of those positions. But whenever you talk with them, it's gonna be a lot of, I'm not gonna make this person pissed off because I would rather have them as a friend than an enemy. Even though they don't do shit for me, they do me better as a friend. You'll figure that out. And that's usually what happens, man. Why? Split, Croatia. Fucking fantastic. I love that place. It's just nice. Okay, if you ever just look at pictures of Split, Croatia, it is fucking beautiful. The babes are amazing. There's a lot of... Yeah. It's just... Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, you have no idea. When I was there, I visited Europe for a little bit, and it was, oh, dude, so fucking cool. Because, okay, like Game of Thrones was filmed there, but it wasn't. Okay, think of a place that has built their economy off of Game of Thrones. That's Split, Croatia. There's businesses there that if you don't watch Game of Thrones, they are negatively impacted by that, dude. So and it was my favorite place to go because everybody's like, do you watch Game of Thrones? And then you have to act as though you watch the show. And I was just like, no, I don't. I plan on doing it. They're like, fantastic. You know what? We have the store for you that, everything was half off because it was the winter months. So, dude, and like a shop owner that only takes cash because they don't want to be hurt by taxes. Fucking hilarious, man. It was a great place. It was a great place to go to, though. It was very beautiful. There's a reason they shot it there. I was there on a couple of the sets, but just so beautiful. Yeah, man. I would highly recommend going to Split, Croatia. I would love to live there, dude. Because it was also, okay, like, if you're going anywhere in Europe, like, everywhere else is, like, an actual tourist attraction. Split, Croatia, ironically, because it was just filming, where, like, it was the place Game of Thrones was, filmed. So it is a tourist attraction, it's kind of the place that you would think a tourist attraction is. But it's like a really nice place. I don't know how else to explain. It feels like home. Like you're not too far away from civilization. Everywhere else, like, there's so much of this ancient architecture that you really just feel like you've been teleported elsewhere. But if you go to Split, it's like you're like right down the street of America. And because they had PS5s for sale there. They had Xboxes still. There was like one Series X on the shelf. It literally felt exactly like home. There was like video games everywhere. It's just like things are a little bit different. People are still driving on the right hand side of the road. Normal cars. It's so weird seeing like a Chevrolet in a foreign country. But yeah, that's how it was, man. It was a really good place. That's where I would want to live. What was the most awe-inspiring place you've been? Your mom's house. What book has influenced you the most? I liked 12 Rules for Life. Has it influenced me the most? Probably the Bible. The Bible or Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Probably the Bible, but dude, it's so sad to think of how little of the Bible that I've read, because it's like I've always compared it to, okay, imagine having like an IKEA desk and not reading the manual for it, and that's like what you're basing. Like, you don't even know what it looks like. You're just like basing like what it looks like off of like either not even like the box picture, because it's like say it's used. You're just going based off of like what everybody says it's supposed to look like, and then you sort of just build it and you get to like somewhat of a conclusion. That's basically my experience with the Bible, because like I'm Christian, and like Christianity, like I can't tell you how fucking stupid this is. It's so important to me that I'm Christian, you know, like it's a part of my identity. But I've read incredibly little of the Bible. I've read maybe, out of what I could understand, maybe 30 pages of the Bible that I've understood. And that is like high reaching of the Bible, dude. And like besides that, man, like 12 Rules for Life, it was like English that I understood. I read maybe like 200 pages out of it, and I maybe like understood maybe about like 180. There was maybe like 20 pages where I went blank, and then I just like picked up on the next page. Like, but the Bible, dude, it's like every other word I am not understanding. That's like King James version, and yeah, that's that, man. So Bible or 12 Rules for Life? Probably 12 Rules for Life, dude. But yeah, that's that, man. Kind of. So I had a similar question brought up with my friend once before. She had a very interesting take on it. So she believes in a lot of weird shit, and we were looking at a statue. We were looking at this. We were looking at the statue, and she was thinking. She told me this. She was like, "Well, oh man, if he started moving around, what do you think he would say?" And like, it turned into like, okay, so he has a soul. And she's like, yeah, he has a soul. But like, that wasn't even. It was like, yeah, he just has one. She basically believed that he had a soul, and I was like. And yeah, like if I was describing a statue, I would sort of say he, maybe it. I would probably describe it as it. But the thing is about things is that, you know, I think people give other things souls. It doesn't. I think we just give each other souls because we believe in them. You know, like if you think about something like George Washington or anybody from history. Okay, it's not ancient history. Okay, but it's history nonetheless. But George Washington to us doesn't really have a soul. You know what I mean? Like nobody thinks of George Washington going and taking a shit. Like nobody thinks about him just doing normal things. Like nobody thinks of him just picking his nose or living out his life and all the empty space that his life had. Like George Washington did these things, and that's what he did. He was just a person. He wasn't really a person. He was a figment of humanity that we. It's so weird to think about, but we don't think of him as actually having a soul. Okay, we can't like think of him as somebody that was a person that actually believed those things. Like whenever we talk about George Washington, he is like he's almost a god, dude. We like talk about these things like, oh yeah, he chopped down the cherry tree, he did all this shit. And like he was a noble person. He didn't want to do 3 terms because that wasn't a part of the Constitution. He probably thought to himself at some point, "Fuck, dude, I should have taken that deal." You know what I mean? Like, you know, he had those tendencies to, you know, do those things. He really, like, that's just what we don't know what really person he was, but we don't think of him as that way. You know, we think of our mothers or fathers having souls. And you know, our friends, but we personify them as souls. And I think we go into our homes, and we go into these places that we live, we move in them, and we spend years of our lives in these places, and then whenever we're done with them, we leave. But we feel a separation from practically a loved one. You know, because we're leaving something that we've grown with through the years, and that's because that's your home. It has its memories. It has a piece of you. It has its soul. It has a piece of your soul in a way, and that's what mean, yeah, that's what I think a soul is. It's just if you personify it as such, which means like not everybody has one. Like if it's as if like if you're not seen, if you're not loved by others, you practically don't exist, which really sucks because it really means that other people have to define your life. Do I think that's 100% true? Not really, because I think that you have to personify yourself as having one. You know what I mean? But I think it helps if other people see you. It reaffirms to the idea. It reaffirms it to other people, like to yourself, like, oh, I actually am a person because you know what? Fucking Joe said I got a soul, man. So yeah, that's what I think a soul really means, dude. Hey yo, if you finished this, I applaud you. Thank you so much for watching something that I made. So I appreciate it. If you have something to say about the questions that I read off, please do. I would love to hear your opinions or whatever's floating your boat. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for making it this far. And I hope you guys have a blessed day. And you guys just take care. All right. You guys take care. Bye.